one of the reasons, I mean, Josh Allen, MVP caliber, completed the ball to 10 different receivers. Let's listen closely, shall we, Devin, to Josh Allen's comments after the game on spreading the ball around to so many different players.
It's paying dividends of what we've worked on throughout the entire offseason and through training camp of the everybody eats mentality. And again, it could be your play, this play. You never know when it's going to happen, and that's the beauty of it. When guys get to buy into this and really understand, like, I may not get the ball 4 or 5 times thrown to me a game, but the 1 or 2 times I do, I'm going to have opportunities to be in the end zone. And, it's a fun and wonderful thing when you got a bunch of guys that don't care about the stats, they don't care about the touchdowns. And again, I think throughout practice, we've just had this mindset of like, hey, let's just do things the right way and find ways to win football games. That's what we're doing right now.
It's impossible to not view his words as a subtle reference, or subtle, as Sims would say and has said, to Stefon Diggs, the guy who's not there anymore, the guy who, and look, I'll defend receivers like Stefon Diggs because they have it in their mind, if we're not winning as many games as we should, the answer inevitably is get me the ball more. Those guys pipe down when the team is winning, because what can you say? Oh, I only got 2 passes thrown my way, but we won by 30 points. Who cares? But this is why, and this is the argument for not having a number 1 receiver, Devin, and this was the case the Bills were trying to make after they traded Stefon Diggs. You give your quarterback the freedom to just throw to the guy who's open, and you let your quarterback lead the offense. You don't have guys running back to the huddle complaining that they were open. You don't have guys on the sideline gesturing or mean mugging. And, you don't have any of that. The quarterback is in charge of the team, and the receivers understand, wait for your number to be called and make the most of it when it is. And how can we not interpret what he was saying last night as a message to Stefon Diggs?
I mean, people hate to say it, but Stefon Diggs being gone was, I think, one of the main reasons people have picked Josh Allen to be the MVP this year. I think as much as out in the space of the world or whatever you want to talk about, people talk about this guy being overrated, is utterly ridiculous. And I think everyone in Buffalo believe that Josh Allen has hit the point where he is that guy. We don't need this guy or that guy. There's no big name or big time receiver. Like, we don't need any of that. Our guy here at quarterback is so good. We just need to get him as many good players. Maybe not the best receiver, this or that, just as many good players as possible around him, and he will make everything else right. He will go out there and do it. And it was fun to see because you saw one of those plays. He drops back, whether it's a design QB draw or not, but he drops back. He recognizes the defense that they're in, and he knows that no one is accounted for. No one is accounted for him. So he drops back, hits his back foot, looks for a half a second, and runs, because now you put together his athleticism, his arm strength, and now his mind of how he sees the game. What's the right play to make? What to do? Like, it's at an all-time high, and it was fun. It was a clinic of quarterback play of what you should do on the football field. And he's probably one of the couple guys in NFL that every bad play he makes just gets elevated times 100. You look at the Chiefs game last year. He's the only reason they're in the game. And he throws a ball, he gets hit. And yes, Diggs is open on the crosser, but Shakir is open for a touchdown. He gets hit as he lets the ball go. So it's an errant throw. If he doesn't get hit, it's probably a touchdown. And we're going crazy celebrating. And everyone acts like that is the worst play ever because you always throw to the easy cross on 3rd down, even though the touchdown's there. So to watch him and see what they're able to do on this offense, I think it's taken the handcuffs off of him on where he has to go to the ball. And I think it's opened up Joe Brady as an offensive coordinator to say, hey, these are all the different things we can do. I can design plays to different players' strengths. Like, I don't have to feel like I need an allotment of plays to go to one guy, no matter what the defense is playing, because that's, like you said, that's the issue. When you have a guy on your team that's a difference maker that needs the ball in his hands, you're so focused on drawing up plays, no matter what the coverage or no matter what the defense is doing, that it starts to be really hard and creates a lot of bad football when you do that. And, kudos to Josh Allen, what he's doing with that offense. And like he said, all of those guys surrounding him, being ready to go and to be dialed in when their number is called to go out there and make the play.
I mean, you hold the ball longer than you should, waiting for the guy to get open because you feel like you have to throw it to him. You maybe make a throw you shouldn't make. The guy doesn't catch it. Then everybody's frustrated. Just throw to the open guy. Work through your progressions and throw to the open guy. And if it gets skewed one way or the other, so be it. The bottom line is the plays are going to be run as designed, and the ball is going to go to the guy who ultimately is open. And, here's the bottom line, because all the people who freaked out when they traded Stefon Diggs, the production dramatically dropped. It's like he wasn't even there anyway late in the year. They'd already kind of mentally moved on from him. And so how are we going to replace Stefon Diggs? Well, replace what? The guy that he used to be in Buffalo or the guy that he became after Joe Brady took over as offensive coordinator? And I'm not laying blame here. I'm not saying what's right or what's wrong. But the point is, by the time we got to the latter stages of the last season, Diggs wasn't really doing anything. He was a decoy at best in that offense. So it isn't all that hard to replace. Gabe Davis, he never lived up to the 4-touchdown game he had in the divisional round against the Chiefs a few years ago. So the guys who left, all these receivers are gone. Well, there's a reason they're gone. There's a reason the Bills didn't keep them around. There's a reason the Bills are comfortable going out and finding other guys to come in and get it done. And it's working. The bottom line is it's working. The Bills are 3-0. They had a scare against the Cardinals week 1, but they pulled it out, easily beat the Dolphins. That game was in hand before Tua had his concussion. That wasn't all. Tua had a concussion, and so the Dolphins lost. No, Bills were winning that game either way. That game was done. It was the Dolphins furiously trying to make something happen and get back into it that led to the concussion, frankly. And now last night wasn't even a contest. And yeah, it makes for a great Sunday night game. We're not contractually obligated to hype up our Sunday night game, and we don't need to. Bills at Ravens on Sunday night. Holy cow.
And I have to say this, Buffalo Bills fans, they owe me an apology. Last year, we had, I think it was Buffalo and the Chargers at the end of the year. I talked about how there was an issue. There was an issue with Stefon Diggs, not just the production of throwing him the ball. He was off the field. He was at like 80% playtime, dropped all the way to 60% playtime. And I mean, Buffalo Bills fans killed me on Twitter or X, whatever you call it, that I was starting something. I was a hater. I was right. So Buffalo Bills fans, send me your apologies. Apologize for all of the mean.
Don't hold your breath.
To me, or
don't hold your breath.
Donate to a charity that I like. Do something, Buffalo Bills, because what I said might have been the reason they were confident in trading Diggs. And now look at you. You're the favorite in the division. You're back. You're doing it bigger than ever. And Josh Allen is going to win MVP this year because of me. Buffalo Bills fans, just thank me.
You are onto something. They're never going to, and I'm not saying that this is unique to the Bills fan base, just football fans generally aren't all that big in apologizing when they were wrong. But they will step up. Bills fans, unlike any other fan base in any sport that I'm aware of, will step up and financially support when there's a player who, for whatever reason, has stood out and has become a target for their gratitude and their generosity. So, Bills fans unmatched in that regard. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.